It's been a month since the dam collapse at the barrier lake in Hualien, Taiwan. Has the problem been solved? Has the mud and debris been cleared? Has the danger been eliminated? Have the victims been resettled? No. As of October 26, 2025, they were still performing rescue operations. Hundreds of thousands of so-called shovel heroes had been working for over a month, yet the affected area still looked like a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Mud covered the entire region, destroying countless homes. The displaced residents still hadn't been relocated, and the farmlands lay in ruins. But what were they doing instead? Tens of thousands of people flooded into the disaster zone just to take photos. Politicians cracking jokes in front of victims, strawberry soldiers, a term for fragile young people, wearing helmets and pretending to dig, only to ask local women to wipe their boots while they laughed and played in the mud. Female influencers wore yoga pants and struck seductive poses in the muck. The excavator operators weren't truly working, they used their buckets to play with balls of mud. What kind of rescue is that? What kind of work is that supposed to be? Is this the relaxed elegance typical of a colony or a decayed society? Taiwan's shovel heroes have gone viral around the world, and people everywhere are watching them like monkeys in a zoo, a grotesque performance born out of tragedy. It's not even the same kind of moral theater you see from Western liberals. At least they still show a trace of empathy. These people on the island seem to have no conscience, no morality, no compassion. They've turned tragedy into comedy, the suffering of others into entertainment. Dancing on graves, drifting with hearses. Things that, in the history of civilization, are beyond absurd. It seems that among more than 20 million people on the island, not one shows responsibility or a sense of duty. They don't even have the faintest sense of shame. For years, many have praised Taiwan as a developed region, high GDP per capita, high living standards. But now, looking at this, it seems more like an oasis of barbarism in the middle of civilization. In the face of disaster, there's no organization, no cohesion, no efficiency, no sense of accountability. I've said before that Taiwan is an old society. And what is an old society? It's one where morality has collapsed, social norms have disintegrated, and everyone is selfish, vulgar, and corrupt. Cults, mafias, phone scams, prostitution, drugs, colonial residue, feudal remnants, all of these flourish freely, and even legally. The chaotic temples of Taiwan outnumber convenience stores. Religious cults multiply endlessly. There are grotesque hybrids blending Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity, Hinduism, and the cult of the unborn mother. It's so absurd that it's hard to believe they belong to the same human species. The people living there are ignorant, superstitious, numb. They treat others as objects and still believe they are civilized and advanced. The truth is, everything in Taiwan needs renewal. It's too old, too decayed. It feels like a semi-feudal, semi-colonial territory, from its infrastructure to its soul. Look at the state of things, even a small inland town wouldn't be like this. In Jiangsu province, for instance, there are villages with a lower GDP on paper, yet they look cleaner, more modern, and more civilized. There, society is a cauldron of superstition, cults, pyramid schemes, fraud, and entertainment until death. With a popular culture like that, what kind of normal citizen can possibly emerge? Taiwan's elites speak nothing but empty rhetoric, its youth lack education, its infrastructure is crumbling, its communities disorganized, and its houses are decades-old ruins falling apart. The roads are full of potholes, utilities are unstable, cars are overpriced junk, and even meals spark arguments over pennies. The collective mindset is fossilized, brainwashed by decades of shallow indoctrination, incapable of seeing beyond its own walls. With nothing left to boast about, they cling to clichés like tradition and warm human touch, romanticizing backwardness as charm. But the dam collapse exposed the truth. Politicians bicker and shirk responsibility. The military and police fail to act yet flaunt their authority. Ordinary people don't cooperate. They'd rather pose for photos and play in the mud. That so-called warmth of the people doesn't exist. It's the complete moral decay of a species. In the end, Taiwan has become a living museum of the worst feudal vices, its spine broken by imperialism, its conscience corrupted by capitalism, enslaved by greed and pleasure. Hierarchy, clans, bureaucracy, colonial mentality, cults, superstition, gangs, all find their most extreme form there. Taiwan has never truly completed its modernization. For years, many boasted about the island's civilization and progress, claiming that the most beautiful scenery in Taiwan is its people. But what civilization can there be in a semi-feudal colony? They mistake vulgarity for openness, decadence for progress, corruption for freedom. How can a place economically advanced still live mentally before 1949, in an old world where man devours man? This decadent, immoral lifestyle isn't progress, it's merely the old lust and depravity of colonial cities before liberation. Were the 8 districts truly developed? If flattering the West and exploiting the poor count as progress, then no wonder they were once defeated and driven to the island to barely survive. An old society cannot be reformed, it can only be liberated.
What we saw in the Hualien disaster is not just a natural tragedy, it is a mirror reflecting a society that has lost its sense of humanity. When suffering becomes a stage, when the pain of a people is turned into entertainment, what remains of civilization? Don't get me wrong, I'm not against capitalism. Prosperity, progress, free markets, all of these can uplift a nation. But when money becomes the only language and empathy a dead one, something essential dies along with it. What destroys a society isn't just material poverty, but moral poverty, the kind that makes people laugh while others cry and pose for photos while someone screams for help. The problem isn't wanting to live well. It's believing that living well means ignoring those left behind. It's confusing freedom with indifference, success with showmanship, civilization with appearance. And this inversion of values, this culture of spectacle built on pain, isn't exclusive to Taiwan. It's global. We live in an era where what matters is not what's done, but what's shown, where people care more about recording the moment than actually helping. Modern humans are becoming digital caricatures, beautiful on the outside, completely hollow on the inside. This disaster revealed what many refuse to see, a society that no longer feels shame. No shame in playing in the mud. No shame in posing beside ruins. No shame in turning death into a backdrop. Shame has disappeared, and with it, respect for the dead, for the living, and for themselves. And without respect, no civilization can stand. What's most frightening is that people don't even realize how abnormal this is. They think it's natural to film suffering, to laugh at chaos, to make content out of someone else's misery. We live in a time when the absurd has become routine, and the grotesque has become entertainment. And the most dangerous part is that this behavior is contagious. The more people see it, the more they accept it. The banalization of evil doesn't need ideology, it only needs the absence of conscience. The phrase is simple, ancient, and powerful. Do not do unto others what you would not want done unto you. But it seems we've forgotten it. We're so busy trying to appear, compete, and win that we've abandoned the most basic thing, being human. Dignity is not an expensive virtue. It's a simple choice, one that doesn't depend on money, status, or politics. It depends on one thing only, conscience. And perhaps that's what the world lacks most today. The awareness that every act, every word, every misplaced laugh carries weight. The awareness that you don't have to be a saint, you just have to be decent. Because when decency dies, all that remains is the spectacle of decay, and we're watching it unfold live in 4K. Some will say, it's just culture, or every people has their own way. But culture cannot be an excuse for moral collapse. Culture is meant to elevate humanity, not degrade it. When cruelty, insensitivity, and vanity become the norm, we're no longer talking about cultural identity, we're talking about spiritual collapse. And here comes the uncomfortable part. There's no point in pointing fingers at Taiwan when the same emptiness lives within us. How many times have we seen tragedies turned into memes? How many times have we laughed at things that should have left us silent? How many times have we chosen to film instead of help? The problem isn't them, it's what we, as humanity, are becoming. Technology has brought us closer, but not together. It gave us voices, but took away our ability to listen. It made us see the world, but blinded us to what is human. And amid all the information, what's most missing is compassion. We don't need more progress if it doesn't come with values. We don't need more temples, more cars, more shows. We need more respect, more empathy, more awareness. Because civilization isn't the shine of skyscrapers, but the shine of character. And when character fades, no building is tall enough to hide the rot beneath. Maybe this tragedy should serve as a warning, a reminder that true modernity isn't measured in numbers, but in how we treat others, especially in the worst moments. A truly developed society isn't the one that builds more, but the one that destroys less. Less humanity, less compassion, less shame. And in the end, the question is simple. If you were the one in the mud, among the ruins, being filmed and mocked, what would you feel? Maybe if each of us stopped for a second and truly thought about that, the world would already be different. Because dignity can't be taught, it must be chosen. And as long as laughter is easier than respect, progress will remain nothing more than a shiny facade covering an ever-deepening abyss. If you've made it this far, tell me what you think. Do you believe society is truly evolving, or just getting better at pretending while rotting from within? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I want to read what you have to say. And if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.